Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, by the way, is just back from Ukraine, leading a very, very small delegation. They wanted to get to the bottom of what was going on and help the folks where it's needed. The general kind enough to join us. General, obviously you have probably a lot of jet lag, and we appreciate you sharing your journey with us. What can you tell us? What did you learn?
Yeah, Neil, thanks for having me this morning. Bottom line, the Ukrainians want to fight. They don't want U.S. troops. They don't want NATO troops. All they want is equipment, and they're going to fight this to the end. It's very clear to them that this is a very aggressive Russia move. It's targeted on civilians. It's targeted on infrastructure. You know, we went out pretty far to the northeast. And we saw some absolute incredible destruction out there by the Russians. And it was targeted on infrastructure, it was targeted on hospitals, it was targeted on schools. In fact, the mayor of Kyiv told us later that this is genocide. And I think when we look at what's going to happen over there, I believe it's very important we get them the equipment to fight. Because I think now we're right on the cusp. And I think it's going to come out probably in just a couple of months when we get into the spring, into the summer, and then into the fall. This is going to be a fight to the end. The Ukrainians are not going to negotiate. They have no intention to negotiate. They want to eject Russian forces from Ukraine. I don't care if it's a Donbass. I don't care if it's Crimea. And they're committed to it. And I talked to a lot of government officials, military officials, civilians that are out there. It's a very committed nation. If anybody doubts their loyalty to Ukraine, they're badly mistaken. And again, as I said, I think it's a fight to the finish.
Well, you've been right along the way here. In general, the only thing is, if they're adamant about not giving up an inch of land or letting the Russians have an inch of land, Vladimir Putin is equally adamant about unleashing holy hell on civilians. He's not going anywhere. What's the end game here?
Yeah, here's what I think the end game is, Neil. I think evicting the Russians from Ukraine, I think they've got the capacity to do it, the Ukrainians, with their fighting spirit, as long as we give them the kit. Because I think they've got the Russians at least at a stalemate and possibly on their heels. And I think why this is important, geostrategically. If the Ukrainians can defeat Russia in the field and eject them from the Donbass or Crimea, Putin falls. And it changes Europe for a generation to come. People need to realize Ukraine is the second largest country in Europe. I mean, I saw that just driving it. And they're very committed to freedom and democracy. They recognize they've got some issues with things that have happened in the past, with illegal activities going on. They understand that. They're trying to correct it. But boy, I'll tell you, their military is a fighting military. I saw it firsthand. We got pretty darn close to the area where what they call the zero line is, which is we used to call the line of contact. And there's no doubt in my mind that they're committed to this fight and fight to the end. So one of these two sides is going to win. I don't think there's going to be anything to negotiate. I don't think there's going to be any negotiations, despite what people want to talk about. Zelensky's not going to do it, and neither's Putin.
We don't have a lot of time, General, but I'd like to get your thoughts on something else that Vladimir Putin had said, that we crossed a red line, that is us, the United States, and by extension Germany, by providing tanks, Abrams tanks on our parts, and obviously these advanced tanks that the Germans are providing, that was a red line. What did he mean by that, and what is he threatening?
Well, I don't know what he means by it, but he's the one who crossed the red line. He is the one who invaded Ukraine. Ukraine did not invade Russia. And when he talks about it, he's trying to intimidate the alliance and the United States as well. And when he says they crossed the red line, he keeps talking about it. He's kind of shifting the red line. And I think he's trying to get us afraid of his nuclear option. I wouldn't be afraid of that at all. I think we're in good position to push back on him. I think Ukraine's on a good position to put back on him. But his talk is all bluster right now. He knows he's got a major problem. He's on his 5th military commander right now in Ukraine, with Gerasimov filling in now as a senior 4-star fighting for the Russians there. And his military has been badly damaged. I think the estimates are around 150,000 killed, and let alone the wounded out there. And he's fighting in human waves right now. He's gone back to a traditional way the Russians fight, which is a lot of use of artillery and mass wave attacks.
It's crazy, General. You're on top of it, brave man you are. Thank you for this, and thank you for your service to this country. General Keith Kellogg on all of that.